What's up again, everybody? In today's video, we are going to cover a brand new character to Dice Masters, Black Swan, and we're going to talk about 2 of the 3 cards that she has in this set. Now, if you don't know who Black Swan is, that's okay, because honestly, before the card existed, I actually didn't know who Black Swan is either. I did some quick Wikipedia searching and kind of read up on her. But the abilities on these cards are very interesting. They're very unique. They're kind of head scratchers. And so I needed some help to kind of work through this. And so I called up Jocelyn. Jocelyn, if you don't know who she is a member of the DM North crew. DM North is a website that does a bunch of Dice Masters content. They're really, really good. Go check out their website. I think it's like dm-north.com. If that doesn't take you to it, I apologize. It'll take you to like a piping company. But search DM North Dice Masters and it should come up in the Google search. Jocelyn is also one of the founders of one of the most recent podcasts to the podcast scene, the DM podcast scene, Doublin' Dice. So check out the Doublin' Dice podcast and let's take a look at these brand new cards. Okay, cool. Jocelyn, we're going to talk about the Black Swan. Do you know anything about Black Swan, the character?
Nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
Nothing whatsoever.
I was really hoping you did. I had to I went to Wikipedia like 20 minutes ago and I Googled Black Swan and read their Wikipedia page. And so if there's anybody watching that knows this character and like loves this character, we apologize in advance because we don't know very much about it. So apparently she was, she played a role obviously in the Infinity storyline in, you know, some form or fashion. She's made her way across like multiple realities, like multiple Earths, parallel Earths, and so she's in Earth 616, and she's like in jail there for several reasons, and has the opportunity to join Thanos at some point. Stuff like this. Okay, she's general bad guy, but they apparently they play her like. Could also be like more nuanced than just wants to, you know, take over the world or destroy the world, is what I gathered from Wikipedia. So there you go. Thank you, Wikipedia.
And I meant to look it up. I just didn't get a chance.
That's okay. There's someone in the comments. Someone's gonna give us a really good synopsis of her character arc, and then we're gonna all be smarter for it, right?
Yep, definitely.
So which one are we gonna talk about, Jocelyn?
I think we're talking about the rare today, right?
All right, let's do it. Let's hit the rare. Do you want to read it for me?
Sure.
All right, let's read it.
Okay. Let's read it. Can't read it on the screen.
I was afraid of that.
Okay, I got it here. So when one or more of your Black Swan character dice attack, re-roll any of your active character dice. And on a double burst face, she says, you may also re-roll any of your active character dice when one or more of your Black Swan character dice block. And she's a 5-cost bolt with an affiliation that I have no idea about.
That's the Black Order affiliation for this set.
Okay.
And then the stat line's a 144, 155, 166. So for a 5-drop, you're only paying 1 on any face to field her, which is not bad. That's not bad. And she's a 6/6. So it could be a lot worse, right? I think that's
I like
pretty
the
solid.
stat line.
What do you think about the ability? I think the ability is super cool. It's kind of one of those head scratchers for me, though.
I think it's fun. It's definitely not, I don't think it's anything that's going to be like a meta level team, but I think it's going to be fun to build around. And the first thing I thought when I read it was energize and then spark.
Yeah.
The 2 things that I thought about as abilities that might go well with the Black Swan.
Yeah. So what kind of energize effects would you want to trigger in that win attacks windows? Things I'm thinking off the top of my head. What was it? The Deadpool. When you energized him, you give all your characters like +1/+1, if my memory serves me correctly. That would be a really cool combo.
That would be really cool. There was the first thing that I went to, because my first energize always is Domino.
Yeah, right. An easy way to get dominoes out of the field.
You can roll her, and if she rolls her double energy face, then you get to roll her again and you can do some damage.
Yeah.
And then you know, eventually she's going to end up on a character face and she's going to be stuck in your reserve pool, but that's fine. Gets her out of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I thought about was the Phantom X, because you're attacking, right? So the Phantom X International Art Thief says, prevent all damage to your character dice until end of turn.
That's a cool one too. I didn't think about that one. That's a really cool one.
He's a 4-cost shield. Well, not cheap, but
no,
it's okay.
No, definitely. That I like the idea of the. I mean, I'm always a fan of Domino. Domino's sweet. So the fact that you can re-roll her, and in this scenario, she doesn't immediately go to the reserve pool, or sorry, she doesn't immediately go to the used pile. Whereas in some other combos, you would like roll her, and even though you rolled her, she's in the used pile, so you can't trigger her effect again. In this case, you can trigger it over and over and over again. So it's like another way to get a domino team rolling, right? Because that's all about rolling, literally. Yeah, it's all about
Yeah,
rolling.
absolutely. So I thought that would be really fun.
That is cool. What spark ideas did you have for this one?
So I mean, Spark. I mean, I wish Spark was different. You only get to do it no matter how many dice roll on a burst phase, right?
Yeah, you only get it once. Yep.
But there were a couple here. Where was it? So I had looked at. There's a. I can't say any of these D&D names.
The one with the thing.
Raja.
Which one?
Vajra.
Oh, Vajra. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got different spark abilities depending on which one you run with her. So there's activating walking statues. With that one, she also has attune and experience. Her spark ability is deal 1 damage to target opposing.
I think it's the target opponent, right? Yeah, you just ping him for 1, which is pretty cool.
That is similar. Not as good as the domino because you can't keep re-rolling it. But,
right.
And then the other one, if you were actually running a D&D themed team, it adds an experience token to another adventurer.
Ooh, that's kind of spicy too. You know, I've messed around with spark teams, trying to get as many spark triggers as possible. And again, you can only get 1 per phase. So you can get 1 during the roll and reroll step. You can get 1 during the main phase and 1 during the attack phase. And the roll and reroll and the main phase are actually pretty easy to achieve, but it's the during the attack phase that's really kind of uncomfortable. And you can actually also get them on your opponent's turn too, like using stretch global, stuff like that. So you can actually trigger spark in a couple of ways on your opponent's turn. This actually gives you 2 ways to do it. If you have the double burst, you can trigger it when she blocks too. So you can do a lot of different spark things with that. That's kind of intriguing for this as well. See, I'm glad that you looked through this and really had some ideas, because this one was scratching my head. I had no clue which way to go with this. It seemed like a really cool ability in that it's sort of like a pseudo parallax thing, but I just couldn't come up with anything. And the moment you said energize, I was like, she's a genius. She's done it. Yeah. I couldn't think of it.
Well, and I think there's energize abilities in this set.
There are,
coming out, right? However, although I have seen the spoilers, I haven't really committed them to memory, and since they don't exist in the Dice Coalition yet, I wasn't able to look them up. But there might be some cool energize abilities in set that would help with this too.
There are some great energize abilities in this set, some really, really fun ones, and this makes a ton of sense when you think about what else you're going to be drafting in this set. And again, this is a draftable set, sort of built for draft, so this is something to consider if you ever see it passed to you, not just because it's got a yellow stripe on it, but also because if you have some energized characters, this is another way to get their positive effects going, and there are some really, really spicy ones.
Absolutely.
So
it's a 5 cost. It's not that expensive.
No, it's really not. You can reach for it in draft, especially if they include some like rush mechanics that are easy to get in draft, because rush is sort of the in-set ramp of the set. So there are some ways to get to 5 a little bit easier. Now, you know, we were talking about maybe doing 2, but we only ended up with this 1, didn't we? Which kind of stinks, because it's like I wish we could see the other 2 Black Swans to kind of have an idea of what they could do, or like what the character's all about. So you know what? Let's just do the comment. Are you ready? Okay. Let's just do the comment. I'm just going to put it on the screen. You may not be able to read it, but you have not seen this coming card, right?
I have not. I have not seen it.
It is a spoiler right here for you and everyone else. I'm going to hit transition, and then if you can't read it, I'll read it for you. Black Swan, the Cabal. A 4-cost Bolt character with the same affiliation and stat line. And she says, while Black Swan is active, if you use an energize ability, gain 1 life, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
Because all of a sudden you can think of a lot of different energized characters that we've had, and you can think of the possibility of energized characters going forward. You could actually conceivably gain life pretty quickly and pretty easily with this effect, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, because if this triggers says if you use an energize ability. So you would think that would trigger each time an energize ability?
See, that's what I would think. I would think that that means anytime you use an energize ability, gain 1 life. Now, they don't often use the word if. They usually use the word when on cards. And usually when they use the word when, they mean whenever, right? This is using the word if, and I haven't honestly gone through the cards in previous and like highlighted whenever they use the word if and if that means something different. But the way I'm reading this is assuming that anytime you use an energize effect multiple times in a phase, whatever, anytime you use it, you'll gain a life. So if you're rolling 2 energized characters or like 2 dominoes and you use energize, gain a life. This plus domino is so sick.
Yes.
Because
definitely.
energize, they're pinging and you're gaining life. Oh my god, I want to play that. I want to play that all the time.
That would be fun.
And this is a 4-drop too. This is so easy to go get.
This might be a little bit more easy to use than the 5-cost rare.
I think that's true of most 5-cost versus 4-cost. Don't you think?
Definitely.
I think there's that break point. I mean, 5's still easy to get to for the most part, especially if you put like a piece on your team to go and get it. But 4, I mean, you start natural 4, right? You always roll 4 dice, so it's always easier to get to.
Yeah. I think that the rare is going to be more fun to build around.
I think it's going to, yeah, I think that is definitely a build around piece. I think this one kind of fits on to energize if you wanted to give like super life gain a try, if it does trigger every energize effect.
Yeah. If you use an energize ability.
Right? It's a head scratcher too.
Yeah, it is.
But
it is a head scratcher.
But I still like it. So what do you think about Black Swan as a character?
Well, I think that she looks pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one so that I can play with it.
Me too. I can't wait to see all of these cards and have all of the draft adventures that come with this set. This set is so cool so far. Jocelyn?
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
Really enjoyed playing with it at Worlds.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Sorry,
you really enjoyed playing
with
the
preview draft.
Dude.
Only
oh
because
my
Matt
God.
gave me a ticket.
I wanted to be in that draft so bad. That was...
You got to do all the cool stuff. You got to do all of the commentating and running the event.
Oh man, commentating was super fun, but when they announced preview draft was happening, I literally looked at my wife. We were sitting outside, like backyard, kids were playing. I looked at my wife and I said, I will be going to Memphis from this date to this date because that preview draft was announced. And I'm still a little sad that I didn't get to try these cards out and like draft it along with you guys because that looked amazing.
Oh, we'll all get our chance to do it soon, right?
That's right. Thanks, Jocelyn, for hopping on with me and spoiling some cards.
Thank you for having me.
Hope everybody enjoys these cards as much as I know I will.